Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. I feel like today's is going to be a bit of a controversial one and I'm going to have some unpopular opinions that some people may not like, but I'm going to be talking about some popular books that I have no interest in reading whatsoever. So before we get into the books, this is not me hating on you for reading these books. This is not me hating on you for loving these books. This is just me saying I have no interest in what these books are about. I don't want to pick them up for certain reasons. I'm not in any way, shape or form trying to suggest that you are lesser than for reading any of these books. The thing I love the most about reading and reviewing books is that they're so subjective. We all have our own different opinions and I think that's brilliant. I love how one single book can evoke such differing opinions for different people. It's one of my favourite things about reading and reviewing books, is seeing everyone's different opinions. So please don't think that this is me being mean or anything like that, and please don't hate me for my opinions here because I'm a sensitive soul. I mean, in the comments, if you are absolutely passionately in love with one of these books, let me know down below. You may well convert me into wanting to read it. I mean, I doubt it, but I challenge you to do so. If you absolutely love any of these, try and change my mind. I'm going to start with the biggest one first. Get this one out of the way because it is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Now, to start with, I'm not a massive fantasy reader. I am getting there. I don't think that I will ever be one of these people that reads like epic fantasy. I know this isn't like an epic fantasy, but just to make you aware, I do not really read fantasy at all. And a book about dragons doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. But also there's people that I watch on YouTube, TikTok, and reviewers that I have similar reading tastes to, and our opinions on books align quite a bit, who really don't like this book and don't like the writing of it. So I just don't think it would be wise for me to pick this up. I don't think I would enjoy it at all. But I do love how so many people have been so excited for the new release of the next book in the series. I feel like it's always quite exciting when there's so much buzz around a release. So I'm really happy for you if you do love this book and you are in on that hype. I just don't think that I would ever enjoy a book like this. The next one, I don't know whether it will shock some people or not, but it's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I just have never found the urge to pick this one up when people have described what it's about. There is no intrigue there whatsoever. I know that it's about some gamers and I don't even know how many characters it's about. I don't know, is it 2, is it 3? Unsure. I know that they kind of are close and they come apart and they perhaps get close again. Don't know if that's in a romantic way or a platonic way. I have no idea. But the idea of gaming, I'm not into gaming. I am not a gamer. So this just doesn't appeal to me, to be honest. I know that people say it's really emotional, but the gaming aspect just kind of puts me off a little bit. So this one I doubt I will ever get to. The next one is one that I see on TikTok all the time, even though it came out so long ago, and it is They Both Die at the End. To be honest, I've seen too many spoilers for this book to ever want to pick it up. And I am also kind of steering away a little bit from reading YA, so I just don't think that this will ever be a book that I pick up. I find it so funny that TikTok kind of goes through all these trends of all these older books that seemed to be popular a really long time ago, and then all of a sudden they're kind of getting their like re-emergence into a bookish social media. I find it interesting, but yeah, it's not something that I would consider picking up, I don't think, because one, I know too much about it, two, I'm just not into YA as much as I was before. Next is actually quite a surprising one, even for me, and it is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I love a hockey romance. I absolutely love hockey romances, sports romances in general, but specifically hockey romances. And I really like the cover of this one. I know some people don't. I love like a cartoon cover. I just think they're really cute. Really, really love the cover of this. But I've heard too many bad things to want to pick this one up. I just don't think that I will get on with it based on what I have seen, which is such a shame because I'd love to read more hockey romances to add to my list of recommendations, but yeah, this one just, I don't think that I will like it based on what I've seen. Again, similarly with Fourth Wing, I have seen too many opinions from people that my reading tastes align with, and I trust that don't enjoy this book, don't enjoy the way it's written, and don't particularly like the romance. So that's why I think I might as well give this one a miss. Next is another very popular one, and it is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. The reason for this is actually a little bit different to other reasons that I've given so far. I've read a Freida McFadden book before, can't for the life of me remember which one, couldn't tell you, but I really didn't get on with the writing style, I really didn't enjoy it, so I'm just kind of sworn off Freida McFadden books in general. I know they're so popular, but with reading that and really not enjoying the writing, I just don't think that me and her will ever get along. And also there is another thing, and I'm not going to get into it too much because I don't want to spoil anything for either of the books that I'm referring to here, but there is another thriller book that this one is heavily compared to and kind of follows the same plot twists, and the book kind of goes in a very similar way, and I really didn't like that other thriller. I won't say what it is because if you've read one or the other and want to read the other, I don't want to spoil it for you. But yeah, those are the reasons why I'm not so interested in reading The Housemaid or any other Freida McFadden book, to be honest. Next up is another beloved book, and it is Legends and Lattes. Again, I'm not much of a fantasy reader, and to be honest, if I was ever going to pick a fantasy book up, I doubt cozy fantasy would ever be the route that I would go for. I feel like if I'm picking up a fantasy book, it would be for the plot. I can get on board with books that don't really have much of a plot, but I think, personally, I think I would prefer them in a more contemporary book where they are really character driven rather than in a fantasy setting. I don't know, I just feel like if I'm ever to pick up fantasy books, it is more for the fantasy plot. So a cozy fantasy doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. Next up is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this one I have just had no interest in whatsoever. The thing with this one is more that I have seen fans of this series start to really dislike the books as they go on. I just think if actual fans of that series and of this author have that opinion as the books go on, then I don't really have any interest in trying to pick them up. The next one I feel like I am slightly cheating because I did attempt to read this book and put it down extremely quickly, and it is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I am a fan of young adult mystery thrillers. This one I just didn't like. I really did not enjoy the main character, the brothers that are involved as well, didn't like them, didn't really enjoy the kind of plot in general. I can't really remember much of what I read, but I was just reading it like, this is not for me. So that whole series is just kind of a no from me. I have been put off massively, but that being said, I think it's more to do with the characters and the plot, not the writing. I would be interested in reading some of Jennifer Lynn Barnes's other books, which sound more appealing to me. Next up, we have got a Coho. Now, I am actually not a Colleen Hoover hater. I have read a few of her books that I've really enjoyed, but this one I'm never going to pick up, and it is It Starts With Us. I have read It Ends With Us, which is my least favourite Colleen Hoover that I have read, but at the time I enjoyed it. But then it was kind of one of those things where it was like, I read it so quickly and it read really quick. So in my mind, I was like, I'm loving it. It's not the case. Just because a book is reading fast doesn't mean it's good and that you love it, which is something I have learned. But yeah, I just have no interest in going back to these characters. There are none of them that I really liked in the book. I just don't care. I do not have any interest whatsoever to revisit these characters. I don't really believe it was necessary to write this book. I don't know. Maybe some fans really wanted it, but I just don't see the point. But anyway, yeah, It Starts With Us is not for me. We've got one final book, and Sunny has joined me for the last one. Oh no, he's gone again. It is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I don't have a single interest in this plot. Again, people's opinions of this book have really swayed me. I just feel like it's definitely not my cup of tea, and Even the movie, like some people say the film is better than the book. Even the film doesn't appeal to me, to be honest. So I just don't think this one's worth me picking up. And I'm gonna have to quickly wrap up because I think that the dog is tearing up the carpet. I was correct, crisis averted, but I need to wrap this up quickly before he goes at it again. I would love to know if you agree with me on any of these or if you massively disagree, and I'd love to know your reasons why. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you could like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!